Namaste. It's time for our Wednesday morning easy stretch with me, Gayatri. So, namaste. We're going to start sitting up. You can lie down if you like. We're going to do a little bit of breathing to start with. And I know when I was doing my classes here and you're coming physically to the classes, a lot of people like to lie down. So you're welcome to lie down for a few minutes. Make the most of this time for rest and relaxation. So we're going to practice Viloma breathing today. So I'm just going to guide you through it, getting comfortable. You can sit cross-legged, you can kneel if you prefer. And we're going to inhale a third of the breath and then pause momentarily, continuing to inhale until the lungs are filled to 2/3 of their capacity, pausing momentarily, filling the lungs completely, pause. And then we're going to exhale in one long exhalation. So then on the exhale, we're going to do that for a few goes, few breaths, and then on the exhale, we'll start to pause. But I'll guide you through, so just follow me. So we're just going to let the shoulders relax. A few circles if you're a bit tight. Just a little bit of movement into the neck, soften it up, relax it. Face is nice and soft as if you're sleeping. And we start to bring the awareness to the breath. Just being aware of the breath and the effects the breath has on your body. And now we're going to inhale until our lungs are filled to 1/3 of their capacity and pause momentarily. Continuing to inhale till the lungs are filled to 2/3 of their capacity, pausing momentarily. Keep filling the lungs until they're completely full and pause. And then we're going to exhale in one long exhalation with no pauses. So we'll continue on for a few breaths, just in your own time. One more breath. Now we're going to inhale without any pauses, and we'll exhale until the lungs are 1/3 empty, pause. Continuing to exhale till they're 2/3 empty, pause. And continuing to empty the lungs till they're completely empty, pausing. Inhale, nice long inhale, no pauses, and we'll practice a few of these breaths. One more. Now we're pausing on the inhales and the exhales. Inhale a third, pause. Inhale 2/3, pause. Full breath, pause. Exhale a third, pause. 2/3, pause. Empty the lungs and pause. Continuing on in your own time. Continuing for one more breath. And we'll take a few nice deep yoga breaths. No pauses this time. Just filling the lungs, emptying the lungs completely. Last breath. And we're moving into our asana practice now. So come down onto your back if you're not already there. Place the palms on the floor, arms are down beside you. We're going to lift the tailbone off the floor, keeping the pelvis down. So we're just lifting the tailbone, flattening out the lower back, and then pressing the tailbone into the floor, arching the lower back. Lift the tailbone and then press it down into the floor. So rolling the hips, the pelvis backward and forward. Now lift the tailbone. This time we're rolling up into a rolling bridge. So keep the knees hip distance apart, pressing the hips up to the ceiling. And then rolling back down, trying to get every part of your spine onto the floor as you roll. Press the tailbone into the floor, and then lift the tailbone and roll up. Roll down. Once more. We'll hug our knees into our chest. Give them a few rolls in each direction. Bringing the feet to the floor. We'll lift the right leg. I'll take the back of the leg, so maybe you're up high on the leg or maybe you're just behind the thigh. And we're just going to pull the leg in gently, stretching the hamstring muscle. You can straighten this left leg if you need a deeper stretch. And foot to the floor. Moving to the left leg. And releasing the foot to the floor. We're going to roll onto the left hip now. And you can just rest your arm on the floor. Your head is on your upper arm, or you can bring your hand under your head if you prefer. And we're going to lift the right leg and take it over just towards the back a little bit. And then we're going to lift and lower. This is really good for the gluteus medius. You can flex your foot if you like. That keeps your muscles more engaged. Then we're going to bend the knees, line your feet up with your tailbone, and we'll have the ankles together, and we're just going to lift the leg. You don't want this hip rolling back, so make sure it's forward. You can keep your hand on your hip. Just lift the knee and lower. Now, if you've got very flexible hips, your knee will come up a lot higher, as long as you're not rolling that top hip back. Once again, another gluteus medius exercise. It's really good to keep our gluteus medius very strong because it keeps our knees in the right alignment. If our glute med is weak, then we're more likely to get knee wear as we get older. It doesn't have to be a big movement, but you'll be feeling it burning in your hip a little bit by now, hopefully. Okay, and we'll straighten the legs. And we're going to lift them both. Now you want to stay straight here, nice straight line through your body. Don't roll the hip back or forward, you want it stacked, this hip stacked. Lowering to the floor, take an inhale. We're going to do this one 3 times. Inhale, inhale, lift. And down. Last one. Take an inhale, exhale, and inhale, lift. And lower. And we'll move on to the other side. So once again, arm can be up, head resting on your arm, or head underneath, hand underneath your head. We'll lift the left leg, take it back slightly so it's coming just behind the right leg, and then we'll lift and lower. Doesn't need to be a big movement, and you don't want your toes pointing up to the ceiling. So they should be pointing forward. Last one. Bring one leg on top of the other, bend the knees, line up your feet with your hips, and left knee lifts without rolling this hip back. Really important to keep those hips stacked and your ankles stacked. So you might not have much of a movement, but you'll be feeling it's quite a strong workout for your glutes. One more. And we'll stretch the legs back out. Bring the hand under the head. This is sleeping Vishnu. And we're going to place the hand in front of the chest for support and lift both legs, stacking them one on top of the other. Lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and lift. And lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and lift. And lower. Just coming onto your back. I just have to be with my left side to you because of my microphone. And we're going to take the back of the thighs and we'll do a little bit of rock and roll. We're going to rock up and roll back. This warms up your body and your spine, brings heat into the body. And coming up, one more. And from here you can lift the legs one at a time. And both legs together. Keep the chest lifting. Hugging the knees in, a little bit of cat-cow. Lifting the chest and then rounding, curling over. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Straightening the left leg out, hugging the right knee into your chest, and we're going to roll back. Try to make it a nice controlled movement. Hugging the knee out towards your armpit a little bit. Just opening up the groin, inner thigh. Releasing, we'll bring the foot to the inner thigh or the knee, wherever it comes to on the side of your leg there, the inside of your leg. Just letting the knee sink out down towards the floor. Supine tree pose. Gentle hip opener. And then we'll straighten the legs, lift the arms up over your head, and we're going to roll up, just like we were doing a spinal roll. And we'll hug the left knee into the chest, keeping that chest nice and high. And then roll back. Nice, slow, controlled movement. And then bring the knee out towards the armpit a little bit, hugging it in. And then we'll straighten the leg, arms lift, and roll up. Bringing the hands to the floor. Now, if you need a little bit of height under your hips, you can use a rolled up towel or blanket. You can sit on a bolster. Even if you slide down, you'll find that helps to keep your hips tilted forward. You can flex your feet. That will increase the stretch. Keep your chest lifted as if you've got a string attached to your chest. Someone's pulling it upwards. And we're working on getting the abdomen onto the thighs. Nice stretch for your hamstrings. And then we're coming back up. We'll take the left foot onto the top of the thigh, the right foot onto the top of the thigh, just above the knee. We're wanting to line the shin up with the front of the mat. And just let that knee sink down. Figure 4, this is called. And we'll lift the knee, place the foot to the outside of your knee. It can be lower if you need it to be down closer to your foot. And then we're going to wrap the arm around the front of the leg. Right hand comes behind you like a second spine, twisting from the rib cage upwards, gazing over the shoulder. You can just hold the knee if that's easier for you. You can hook the elbow to the outside of the knee. if you want to increase the twist. And coming back to the front, straightening the legs out. We'll bring the left foot above the right knee. Flexing the foot and letting the knee sink towards the floor. Just like a figure four. And we'll bring the foot to the outside of the knee, hugging the knee or holding the knee or hooking around the outside of the knee. You can have the arm straight or bent. Now the left arm is behind you like a second spine. It gives you length and support. So try not to lean back here. And stay nice and upright. And coming to the front. We're going to bring both feet together now for Baddha Konasana. So we're taking our ankles or the tops of the feet, or maybe your hands are up your legs a little. And we're going to lift that chest up, extend the spine towards the ceiling. Face is soft, let the groin relax, let the inner thighs relax. Just let the knees sink to the floor. You can come forward if you need to, as long as you're not rounding your back. And we'll cross the legs. Taking the right shoulder down towards the ear, right hand to the side of the head, middle fingers connecting with the ear, left shoulder slides down. Just find your tight spot and then breathe into it. Let it relax and stretch. Not trying to pull the head, just letting the weight of your arm stretch your neck. Gently release. Slowly take the head to the other side, left hand on the side of the head this time, right shoulder slides down, finding your tightness. Now you can move your arm to wherever you need to bring it. I find for my neck, I slide the shoulder right down. It gives me a deeper stretch. Gently release. Lift the head slowly and gently. Bring the chin to the chest. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Let the elbows fall forward. As keep your shoulders back and your spine straight. Stretching the back of the neck. If you're tight, you might feel it all the way down into your lower back. Gently releasing, bringing the head up to center. We're going to take the back of the hand and place it on our waist. And we're going to take the elbow and just gently pull it forward. This stretches the back of the shoulder. It's actually quite a nice stretch. Not a big movement, small movement, but just keep your shoulders level, or you don't want to start to bring this shoulder forward or you lose the stretch. As you can feel, it's stretching the back of your shoulder there, the back of your arm, and releasing. Moving to the other side, the back of the hand on the waist, taking that elbow and gently pulling it forward. I think this stretches the area around the rotator cuff from what I've been told. Gently release. I'm going to take the arm up, right arm, and then take it over to the left shoulder, gently pressing the arm in towards your chest. Releasing, left arm comes up, take it over to the right shoulder and gently pull that arm in. Releasing, we take the right arm up, place it down in between the shoulder blades, and we're just going to gently pull this elbow back a little bit. Feel that through the arm into the shoulder. Release, left arm up, place the hand down in between your shoulder blades and gently press the elbow back. And release. Few circles, change direction, inhale up, interlace your fingers, press the palms to the ceiling and rotate the arms in nice big circles, change direction, and then over to the left, over to the right. And releasing, I'm going to bring the hands to the front of the legs, walking forward. Keeping your spine nice and straight. And coming back, we're going to straighten our legs out. Do another shoulder stretch. This is a really quite intense actually, but depends how far you bring your hands back. Keep them shoulder distance apart. Just keep taking them back until you feel a stretch through your arms and shoulders. So you don't want it to be too intense. If you go too far back, you'll be feeling it too intensely. walking the hands back up. Give them a shake. Shake the wrists out. And we're going to come over onto hands and knees. So take the knees to wide width of the mat, and then we're going to lower the buttocks down towards the heels. Fists, if you're a little tight in the hips, head on fists or block. Just relaxing the hips. And we're coming back up onto hands and knees, making sure the hands are directly under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. We're going to take the right leg out behind and then swing it over to the left. You can come onto the ball of the foot or to the top of the foot. And then we're going to swing around as if we're going to bring the nose to the knee. And we'll take that leg behind, coming onto the ball of the foot, and you can walk your hands a little further forward just to get a little bit more weight happening. And we're going to press back into the left heel. Press your weight into the left heel as if you're pushing that heel back towards the wall. You may want to come up lift your knee up off the floor if you want to deepen that stretch. So whatever works best for you. Take the knee to the floor, and then we're going to swing the right leg out to the side. So we're lining the arch of the foot with the knee, and then from here you can come down onto forearms or forehead. Maybe your chest is down on the floor. Coming up, and we're going to lift onto our knee, and toes are going to swivel up to the ceiling. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, left hand on hip, reaching over. You may be able to get your fingertips to the floor. Maybe you're on a block. And then we'll lift and move to the other side. So left hand just sits in front of the knee or the thigh. Left arm comes over towards the ear. And coming up. And hands down beside you. Bring the knee underneath the hip and remove to the other side. So we're going to swing the left leg out behind and then over to the right, coming onto the top of the foot or the ball of the foot, and then swinging around, bringing the nose towards the knee. And we'll take the leg behind, coming onto the ball of the foot, pressing back into that heel to stretch the calf muscle, or lifting the knee up, and pressing the heel to the floor. coming down onto your knee, and we're going to swing the left leg out to the side, lining the arch up with the knee. And if it's available to you, so your toes are pointing forward here, if you can get them forward, and then from here you can come down lower. You may need to stay up higher. You don't want to struggle here. You want to just let your body stretch when it's ready to stretch. If you're trying to force it, it is going to go the other way. It's going to tighten up. Couple more breaths. And making your way up onto your hands, coming onto your knee, swiveling the foot so the toes point to the ceiling. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, right hand to right hip, and left arm reaches over towards the ear, or hand on the floor, or block. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, left hand down in front of the thigh or knee. Right arm over towards the ear, reaching out into the fingertips. Keep your shoulders level with each other. Inhale up. Bring our knees back underneath the hips and lower into child's pose. Arms are forward, fingers are spread on the mat. And we're going to lift the hips, curl the toes under, swinging up into downward facing dog. So we're going to roll our shoulder blades away from each other, slide them towards your hips. Bend your knees, draw your chest towards your thighs, really lengthen out the spine and the back muscles. And then we can start to pedal the heels one at a time. Calves are already pretty stretched after that last calf stretch. And then both heels towards the floor, nice triangular shape. Don't worry if your heels don't get there, that may not happen. As long as you're getting a good stretch here. It's a nice calming pose as well, good for calming the mind. And we're going to bend the knees, walk the hands towards our feet, just hanging here like a rag doll. Knees are soft, draping down over your thighs. So if you want to, you can just stay here in rag doll, or you can place your hands under your feet, fingers under your feet, and start to straighten your legs for a nice hamstring stretch. And then we'll release, roll up one vertebra at a time. Last to come up is the chin. Then chin to chest, shoulders roll forward, rolling down one vertebra at a time. Rolling up. And one more. Just breathing when you're comfortable breathing. And sweep up. Bring the palms together, exhale to namaste and walk to the front of your mat. Doing a couple of sun salutations now. So I'm going to do easy ones. A lot of people have trouble stepping forward, so we're going to just do a nice easy one for those with tight hips. Reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, come into a halfway lift, nice flat back, gazing forward of your mat. Exhale, hands to the mat, left leg steps to the back of the mat, knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep up. So we want to bring those hips forward. Nice lunge here. Knee tracking over the center of your foot. You can arch back if you like. And then exhale to the floor. Step to downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. You can take an easy variation if you want, coming onto your knees. Chaturanga, elbows in towards your body. Chest comes down first. Lifting into a little cobra. You may be in a very small baby cobra. You can even have your hands off the floor if you've got back issues to help strengthen your back. Pressing into the floor, come back into downward facing dog. Bend your knees, walking your hands to your feet, rolling up. Nice slow roll coming up. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale, namaste. Walk to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Left leg to the back, knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale, lunge. Arching back if you like. Extra stretch there for the hip flexor. Exhale to the floor. Downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, little cobra. Shoulders are back and down, elbows in towards your body. Downward facing dog. Bending your knees, walking your hands to your feet. Rolling up. Sweeping up. Namaste. Come to the front of your mat. 2 more, one on each side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. We're going to step the left leg to the back of the mat this time. Have it on about a 45-degree angle, hip distance apart. Sweep up, bending into the front knee. Take a couple of breaths here. Knee should not be further forward than the ankle. Hips level with the front of the mat. Nice big inhale. Exhale to the floor. Step to downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Walking the hands to the feet. Roll up. Sweep up. Namaste. To the front. Lifting. Exhale, fold. Halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Right leg steps back, foot at a 45-degree angle, roundabout, reaching up and lunging into the front knee. Feel that nice stretch through the front of your right thigh. Inhale, exhale to the floor, step to downward facing dog. Inhale to plank, exhale chaturanga, inhale cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands to your feet. Rolling up. Sweeping up. And namaste. Inhale, lift. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind your back. Feet are hip distance apart. Lower into chair pose. Just as if you're going to sit in a chair. Nice and relaxed here, not too stiff. And lift your arms up behind your back, shoulder stretch. Keep that spine nice and long, don't overarch your lower back. Maybe if you feel a little pressure in your lower back, lower the tailbone to the floor or come up a bit higher to the pose. Straightening the legs and coming forward. You can bend them if you need to. Arms lifting over towards your head. And coming up. We're going to take our feet to a good wide distance. We're going to bring the heels in so that the feet are at a 45-degree angle. And we're going to bend the knees, tracking them over the center of the feet if you can. We're trying to work these knees back. And you can come up to cactus pose, Kali pose. Keep working those knees, press them back. And from here, you can bring the heels up. Just lift them as high as you can get them. Finding a little focal point helps to keep your balance here. It's good for strengthening your feet as well. Heels to the floor, little squat, mini squat. We'll do once more, heels lift. Heels to the floor. We're going to take our feet out to as wide as we can get them. That's not too uncomfortable for you. It should feel like a nice stretch. We're lining the outer edge of your feet against the edge of your mat. So you may feel a little pigeon-toed here. Hands to hips. Hinging through the hip creases, leading with the chest. Nice open heart. Now you might just stay here. You may be able to get your fingertips to the floor, but you want to keep those shoulder blades working towards each other. If they're opening up too much, you're rounding your back most probably. You may need a block or 2 blocks. Maybe you've got a couple of thick books you can bring your hands onto. You may be down on your forearms or fists. One more big breath. And then we're going to bring the right hand down underneath your chest, right at the center of your chest. Now make sure if you feel like you're rounding your back at all, to pop your hand up a little higher onto something, a block or a book, because it's not good for your spine to round and do a twist at the same time. And then we're gently going to lift the left arm. You can look down at the floor, you can look over at the wall or up at your arm. And then we'll lower the hand. The right arm sweeps up. Lower. See if we can come a little deeper into this forward fold now. And we'll bring our hands to our hips, rotating up. Our heel toe, the feet together. Coming to the back of your mat. Inhale, lift. And exhale, folding. Bringing the hands to the floor, walking your hands forward into downward facing dog. Now we're going to slide the right knee behind the right wrist for pigeon pose. Left leg slides back slightly. You can adjust this lower leg. If you bring this out towards the front of the mat, it can be anywhere you can have your shin lined up with the front of the mat if you have very flexible hips. But you want to keep your hips level. If it's too intense, you can even bring your heel underneath your thigh. So just adjust accordingly so you get a decent stretch through your glute. And then we're coming down onto maybe forearms, fists. Maybe you've got your forearms up on a block. Maybe you've got knee problems. Maybe all the way down to the floor. If you do have knee problems, just come onto your right hip, bring your knee into the sole of your foot, and then you can come down over your thigh. You get a similar stretch here, but it'll be less intense for your knee joint. So just let your glutes relax and stretch, breathing deeply. More oxygen in the body, the more your muscles will be able to stretch. Making your way up, bringing the hands under the shoulders, step back to downward dog. Just let these hips loosen off a little bit before we move to the other side. And then left knee behind left wrist. Right leg slides back a little, adjust the foot, and come to whichever variation suits your body without struggling. It should feel good. The stretch feels good. Shouldn't feel any pain or discomfort. And if you've got that knee problem, coming down onto the hip, deer pose, and coming over the thigh. And walking our hands back, lowering onto the left hip, swinging the legs forward, interlace the fingers, and we'll roll back. Hug the knees into the chest. Bring the forehead to the knees. And a few circles with the knees. If you prefer to finish off with happy baby, you can do that if you like. Change direction if you're rolling your knees. And slide the legs out. You can place a bolster under your knees or some cushions if you like, or a rolled up blanket. Just takes the pressure off your lower back. So you find you relax more. If your back's aching, you're not going to be able to relax as well. And just let your body melt into the floor. Completely soft and relaxed. And we're just going to lie here for a few moments. You might like to listen to this nice mantra meditation. Let your mind completely relax and rest. Now I'm going to start to bring a little bit more movement into our hands and feet. You can bring your arms up over your head for a stretch. And then bring your knees into your chest one last time to release your back. And then roll to one side. Making your way into recovery position just for a couple of breaths. And slowly come up to seated. For some kirtan. So, I'm going to sing the mantra Om Hari Om. So we've done yoga for the body, yoga for the breath. Now this is yoga for the soul. So just take it in, take this nourishment in. And feast on these mantras. Your turn now. Yoga wisdom quote for the day from the Bhagavad Gita. The stage of perfection The stage of perfection is called trance or samadhi, when one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by practice of yoga. This is characterized by one's ability to see the self, the spiritual being, by the pure mind, and to relish and rejoice in the self. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless, transcendental happiness and enjoys himself through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in the midst of greatest difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact. So somebody who understands that they are an eternal spiritual being within this body, temporarily residing within this body, then they start to become less disturbed by difficulties in life. That will continue to grow until you reach enlightenment or samadhi, which is deep absorption and meditation upon the Supreme Being. Samadhi. So namaste, thank you for joining me today, and I'll be back on Friday for some more easy stretch.